Hello, everyone. It's Charlton. Please subscribe to my channel and tap the notification bell. I'd appreciate it majorly. So, Suzanne Morphew. There is a news story, but it's not much. And so there's really not a whole lot to add to the missing persons case of Suzanne Morphew. She's been missing for two months now, exactly to the day. Who was last missing on May to June to July 10th, Mother's Day, Sunday is when she went missing. But the authorities were back out to the property that they'd handed back over to Barry. And at some point they had, gotten a search warrant, and it was a crime scene basically type thing, searching it for a number of days, and then gave it back to him. But I don't even think they were searching inside the home at this. When they revisited the property, with local, state, and federal investigators returned to search the Morphew property west of Salida to once again search the area for additional information related to Miss Morphew's disappearance. Quote, "This case remains very active as more than a dozen investigators are aggressively working to this case on a daily basis," said Chaffee County Sheriff John Spees. "And until we determine what happened to Suzanne, we can't discount any scenario or formally eliminate anyone from suspicion." So, when I read that, and just the fact that they went back to the home, because you wouldn't think they covered that by now. It almost makes you think that they feel that maybe there is a chance she was attacked by some animal or something like that, I really don't know. I don't. So, to try to kind of summarize some of the different stories that have been out there since this case started, I haven't made a video about it in a little while, and it's just kind of gone cold a little bit. But I've seen some of the developments, the YouTuber that interviewed Barry Morphew, I saw that, this dude here, Tyson Draper, who's got his own channel, who's sort of just making videos, but he's going to the places, for Chad Daybell. He went to Chad Daybell's home. In this case, he came to the location here to just kind of, look around and see what's going on. Managed to bump into Barry Morphew and put his camera in his sort of fanny pack thing that he had there, and because actually in the beginning of the encounter, Barry tells him to turn that off or something like that, and he says, yeah, and he does, he pretends to, and then he records it. Some people think this was kind of choreographed and maybe staged a little bit. I don't know, man. It's possible, I suppose. And he's already addressed those rumors and says that's not true. I really don't know. And honest to goodness, I just don't care, about that. So, but at least you get a little information, whether it's being spoon-fed to you intentionally or not, from Barry, about some of the circumstances to the search and so forth, and where he was, and so on. So you can look at I'll probably link it I'll link it in the description. You can check it out. You probably already have if you follow this case. So, one of the biggest things was when they were digging at the site. This is just going over old ground, but nothing ever came of this, and everyone was absolutely convinced they were going to find her body there, and I didn't think they would, and in that case, I was actually right, because this turned up nothing. Because I just didn't think, why would he be so stupid as to put the body at, a construction site where he last did work at? It'd be the last place in the world you would want to put the body. It's almost like they were led there the police tipped them off there intentionally, just diverting police resources, sending them on some kind of wild goose chase. How they ended up at that location is still a mystery. I don't think that's ever been disclosed, And they did a fair amount of resources. Even in this little video here, you see several. Darn it, you're such a turkey. Several agents there, digging for days, and I'm fairly certain they had heavy equipment, I don't know. I saw rumors that they cracked the foundation, which people thought that meant they were getting close, and they're about to find Suzanne's remains in it, but it never happened. And whether or not they cracked the foundations, I don't know. So, I mean, I don't something must have led them to there. I initially had a theory because there was all sorts of rumors about certain employees of his being in custody, which turned out to be not true. And I've seen the Facebook pages of some of these individuals. It's a woman. I don't even know the rumors exactly. Something about Suzanne Morphew sent a text to somebody, and maybe Barry was having an affair with this woman who was working for him. I don't know. I have no idea about the specifics. There's another thing I don't care about. So, but one of the employees, on his timeline, there's a lot of different comments on there. Basically, people saying pretty rotten things, and accusing him of being a part of it and so forth, And he did. He on his timeline, he asked for for people to pray for this family on the 11th, the day after she went missing, pretty early on. And he states clearly on there that he works for Sunset Farms Landscaping, which is the LLC Barry created when they moved to Colorado, and I guess he started another landscape company. I mean, that was where allegedly he accumulated most of his wealth, was commercial landscaping, possibly selling wholesale as well. Not real sure, but I know they confiscated his phone when Barry did for a number of days. I assume they've given it back to him at this stage. But they had it in the authorities did, either the Chaffee County Sheriff's Office or the Colorado Bureau of Investigation. And initially I thought, there was maybe many, many calls between him and certain employees of his. And that's what led them to a work site, to start digging, But I just don't know. I have no idea if that's even true. I don't even know if his employees were with him up in Denver, because supposedly he was up there for a job. And he states this in this interview here. He says that he went up to Denver to get his guys started and stuff like that. Actually, this interview was after. This was after the digging. Dude, it's definitely there's a lot of fishy stuff going on for sure, no doubt about it. But I don't know exactly what to make of it, and I certainly don't know what's happened to her. And I'm sure a lot of people think Barry's responsible, and I don't necessarily think that. I do think there's something else going on though, and whether or not she's alive, I don't know. If you force me to guess if she's alive, I would say she is. And but beyond that, I just have no clue, and I certainly don't even know that either. In terms of there's the other story I saw on Crime Online. They seem to be all over these things, too. These kinds of stories. I mean, that's what it's for, Crime Online, And I guess Nancy Grace is their go-to chick now. She's the podcast. It's on Fox Nation, but it's somehow linked to Crime Online. She talks about Crime Online like it's her part of the company, part of the organization she's part of. But whatever. One of the stories there was that Barry had applied for guardianship of Suzanne in order to basically complete a transaction of the sale of a home that they were in the process of selling before she went missing. I mean, they moved from Indiana. I can't even remember. I think it's Acadia, a town outside of Indianapolis, where they basically raised their family and so forth, and moved everything to Colorado. I guess because one of their daughters was going to go to school out there. Maybe they've been going there for years, vacationing. That's what I would suspect as well. A lot of people kind of vacation in Colorado, maybe have a second home there, or just go there every winter or every summer, whatever. But he applied for guardianship in order to finalize some property that they were selling. They had I knew of the home that they were trying to sell before they moved to Colorado, and I believe they did sell. I believe they did close on the sale of that, even though many people in the comments said they didn't and it was still unsold. It's not. I'm fairly certain a commercial, agriculture type business bought at least a portion of I don't know, dude. I'm not stopping, man. Such a turkey, man. Just keep going. So, but there was a rental. I knew they had at least their home. That was a nice home with a piece of property that had a large, like barn, like shop-like structure on it. Whether they grew plants there, I think he had a commercial landscaping business. That home they sold. I'm almost positive. I thought they had another alternative site for their business, and I guess they had rental properties too. Where they basically invested their earnings over time. That would make sense. I understand that. Believe me. So, but that's one of the rental properties was one of the things that they were still selling. That might have been the alternative business site, man. I don't know. Doesn't matter. But that was in the news as well. That's pretty much the extent of it, dude. I don't know. I really don't know. And that's the story there. Hope she's okay. Thanks for watching my videos. Please subscribe to my channel. Give me a like down below, and I'll see you in the next video. Later, man.